this Sony C7 is something a bit special. Let's crack on. Hello and welcome to another MrBetaByte video, and this one's a little bit different insofar as we are looking at a really lovely Sony SL-C7 UB, and this has come from Aaron. Thank you very much, Aaron. Really appreciate the opportunity to look at this, to be honest, and yeah, it's almost like brand spanking new. So we've got the original mains lead, which is in the front. I've not actually got this out of the box yet. I've had it ages and just haven't had chance or time, but it has the original accessory pack, so L750 and L500 Sony cassettes. Don't know how good they're going to be, whether they've even been used, to be honest. But they look good. They do look as if maybe they have been, but they look fine. I've got the original service manual, not service manual, user manual, and the remote control still sealed, which is amazing. The RF TV lead, aerial lead, still sealed, and we even have the original batteries, which is amazing. I thought, yeah, one of them's just started to leak at the top there, but yeah, these oh, so yeah, you can see there actually. So that one's leaked on the top there. There's a bit of leakage at the bottom there, but truly amazing just to see it so complete. So original polystyrene and the original bag. So here it is in all its glory, and it's an earlier version, I think I'm right in saying that, earlier version C7, tell by what's on the badge on here. The later ones, it was a plainer Betamax badge. So, but yeah, I mean, wow, just such a lovely machine. Now, talking with Aaron about it, it was bought. It's not like it's new old stock or anything, and our feeling is with it, it's only been opened once. Aaron's opened it just to see if he could get it going, but it looks like it was bought, then used, then developed a fault, and it was just packed back in its box. And I don't know, was it in warranty? Maybe it wasn't, but it was packed back in its box, and that's where it's been ever since. So yes, now in the comments, the last time I worked on one of these, someone did say, oh, you need to check and change those capacitors. There's two mains capacitors that frequently leak and blow up the primary side of the power supply, the switch mode power supply, and out of breath. And I'm going to do that with this. Probably, yeah, you can feel all the clock buttons have failed. They do. They do seem to be more liable to fail if the deck hasn't been used, which this hasn't. And cut that battery out. Hopefully there won't be any leakage from that backup battery, because that's really common on these. But yeah, we'll take it apart and take a look. So, for the second time in its life, let's get the covers off. So, wow, I mean, look at that head drum. it's like new. I mean, everything is like new. It's amazing. And the smell, it actually smells new. A little bit of dust, you can sort of see. Tiny bit of dust there. And the glass was sort of, but wow, it's so tidy. There have been fingers, but that's fine. So I suppose we better get this off, get the timer out, and have a look at changing those switches. I don't have any of the 4.7 350 volt caps at the moment, but I put an order in with Farnell at great expense for some decent caps. So they should be here any day, and we can get that done afterwards. But I'm happy to get this sorted and just see what that battery's like as well. Release the spade from the grounding screw and take off the slow-mo speed, and I should be able to take this off. This has never been off. It was really fighting. Wow, that's just crazy. And I'm a little bit concerned because I don't know whether you can see that, but that screw head is actually slightly contaminated, and that says to me that battery is bad. Not the end of the world necessarily. Let's just undo the grounding strap. Take out the connectors. Being Sony, they are unique to this board. Red and black one. And we've got two more to come. It would have helped if I'd actually taken off the top cover, but it's fine. Bit of a wiggle, it comes out. So how bad is this going to be? So well, so far so good. It doesn't actually, I mean, it's leaked. I don't know if you can see that. It has leaked at the bottom, which is what's fogged the screw. But yeah, I don't think that's going to be too bad. It's good from the back. So yeah, I mean, this is very serviceable, thankfully. These things are a pain in the neck, to be honest, the battery. So yeah, let's get these two screws out. Let's pull these out, and then we should be able to, actually let's remove this because we're going to do the switches anyway. There we go. PCB, they're just totally gone, aren't they? Yeah, so we should be able to get this out. There we go, everything free. And there is no rot at all on the connectors or anything. It's just literally that battery has just leaked a little bit and not done any more damage than what it's done to itself, which I like. So just literally cut it out. I'm not going to desolder it. It's pointless doing it. There we go. So we do have a little bit of rot. It's just on the varnish. It's sweated, basically. And I've just rubbed my fingers in it, which is not probably a good thing to do. Just so it stops the rot. But yeah, it's sort of interesting to see it sort of rotting the screw, or trying to rot the screw. And obviously this is not ideal, but the copper's good. It's literally just started to eat away at the... Broke my cotton wool bud. Broke it in two. So yeah, that's cool. So the next thing is to change those buttons. I won't show that, but you might remember when I did the TTF1, I did the channel change buttons for what it's worth. Also bought these, and these should be a good direct replacement. What's nice about them, because I used to use just the standard 4-pin switches, these are 2-pin. And they will be a direct, straight across replacement with a little bit of pin manipulation, because they are sort of a bit narrower. Yeah, I'll have to think about how I'm going to do that. Yeah, we've got plenty to play with, so we should be okay. I don't know how good these will be. Yeah, so I can flatten out the leads and then just turn them over at the right place so they fit in. So yeah, that should be good. So I went, and then they'll drop off. Well, yeah, we'll find a way. So I won't show that on camera doing that. Let's crack on. Well, I've just found out what's wrong with my iron. The element's on the way out. Quite a big crack down it, which is a pain in the neck. So I better go and order another iron, I suppose. I think you can change the element, but I haven't found anywhere that actually, well, I can get one, which is a bit of a shame. So there it is. Very little in there, to be fair, but yeah, I'll see if I can get a new element, but otherwise I'll have to get another iron. I'll solder on with this one until it does finally fail, I suppose, but yeah, that's a bit annoying. I haven't really got another iron that is half decent, but anyway, let's crack on. So first two are in. It's a bit of a nightmare to do, to be honest, but it is worth it. I've had to chop the top off ever so slightly, to take off about 2 mil, because they are just a little bit too tall, even though they measure the same as the original switches. They're just a bit too tall once they're in. So yeah, I think it's just because of the well, I don't know. They are. So I'm just taking the top off. So the process is that I'm using. The problem with the switches is that they have flat leads that come out, and the direction that those flat leads need to be bent goes against the flat. So hence why earlier on in the video the leg just broke off. So what I'm doing is I'm using some thin copper and just soldering, making a loop and then soldering that on and getting it as flush as possible to the base of the switch, and then chopping off the rest of the leg once it's cooled, obviously, and whatever. Yeah, that seems to be doing the job nicely, and yeah, it's fine. So I will get and do the rest, I suppose. Let's crack on. So far so good. First two are in. I've had to change how I'm doing these. The legs on these are actually flat, and as a result you can't bend them outwards. They'll only go sort of lengthways. So what I've done is I'm using thin copper and just sort of folding over the end of it, pushing that over the leg, so it makes relatively good contact, putting some solder on, then trimming it down so it's as flush as possible with the base of the switch. That seems to be working well. The other problem I've had is, even though the switches are the right length, they seem to be too long. So I'm having to cut off about 2 mil from the top. It's really easy to do with some really good cutters and an accurate cut. But it's not ideal, but it will get the job done, and they'll be reliable switches, I'm sure. So yeah, let's crack on. Well, after a lot of fiddling about, I've managed to get all these switches on. I had to chop off the tops as well to get them somewhere near fitting. They were just jamming up into the button assembly. So yeah, they were too long in the end. Quite honestly, I think I would do it the old way with the tacked switches and putting them at an angle, so two of the legs can just about reach across the contact there, the holes. So yeah, but it's done. I'm relatively happy with it. So let's put it back together. And there we have it. It's not bad. There is more travel on them than I would have liked, but that one you have to push in anyway. The next thing I'm going to do now is replace the two 4.7 350 volt caps in the power supply. Probably they're going to be fine, just because this machine has done so few hours. But I'm going to change them anyway. They are notorious for going pop. So yeah, let's get those done. So power supply is removed. It does look like you could just take the cage off, but you've actually got to take the whole lot out because the other screws are underneath. So yeah, don't have to necessarily unplug everything to remove the power supply in the first instance, although we probably will to we'll have to unplug some more when we take the cage off, but that's fine. So let's do that. Already loosen the screw off. Yeah, there was also a grounding wire had to be undone before the power supply could come out. I couldn't show it because I was balancing the power supply while I undid the screw. Couldn't move the camera. Not enough hands. Think it's those two. I could be wrong. Gosh, it's so tidy. I mean, look at how lovely that is. It's amazing. Yeah, so that needs to come off. And so does that one. Looks as if it's fun to put back on. It's a while since I've done one of these. Well, I'm actually tempted just to undo the one screw. I've already done that side, so what do we have to unplug now? So these. Lift off the cable management. So there you have it, the power supply. Yeah, there you go. So it was those two. Just see it there, 4.7 350 volts. So get those changed and we should be somewhere near, I think. Replacement caps are in. These are actually rated at 125 degrees temperature rating, which is great. And just make sure they are actually the right polarity. So to the white dots, it's negative there, and the white dots around the back for this one. So positives on this side. And yeah, we're good to go. So I'm going to put this back together and put the clock back on, clock module back on, and we'll give it a try. So the power supply is largely in. No, it is in. I didn't actually record it, which I probably should have, to be honest, because it is actually a bit of a battle. But I do have another 4 of these, not like this, but 4 of these machines to work on, and they'll all need those caps changed. So yeah, I will do that in more detail in another video. And I've also found a replacement screw. This has got a little bit of corrosion from that battery. I'm amazed it hasn't done more damage, to be honest, considering. But anyway, let's get the clock module back in, and we should then be able to see what the actual fault is. So yeah, I don't know whether I actually said this machine does have a fault, and I believe it's to do with lacing. And basically, you put a tape in, I think nothing happens at all. Like I said, I've not even powered this on myself. It's only what I've been told, so it's all quite interested to see. Super. Let's power it on. Okay, so here goes. Well, got top digits missing. I did notice some dry joints. I did fix some of them, but obviously there's more and more miss. I hope it's not a result of the leaking battery. So let's see. So when I press the tape in, I can just hear it's like the motor's being energized, but it's jammed. I wonder if we've got a jammed capstan motor, because that was actually quite common on especially the portable decks, the 3000. So it could well be we have a jammed motor. That'll be interesting. Okay, well, so far so good. Yeah, I suppose we ought to have a look at that motor. Yeah, so the motor is completely and utterly seized, almost solid. I can get a tiny bit of movement. I could try and get a bit of grease down there to see if it will free off, but I'm not really holding out much hope, to be honest. I think if I could free it, it would be fine, but it's just getting it to that point where it is free. Obviously it's seen no use, so yeah, if I can free it off well enough, it should be good, so I'll give it a go. Okay, so it's not really a very good shot, is it? Okay, so not the best angle, but I have tried to get some grease down there, and that has not worked. So I'm going to actually try some plus gas. I really don't like the smell of this stuff, but it is very, very good. And I just think if I can put enough there, it will soak in and hopefully not cause any issues with the motor at the same time, which I don't think it would. But it should start to work in, and hopefully free up. And I've actually lent the machine, so because this is at an angle, and I've actually tilted the machine up, put something underneath it to get it so this motor is actually lying flat. So I think what was happening with it before, I was getting some rotation, or what I thought was some rotation, but I think it was literally, it was starting to spin on the shaft. The shaft is that much, that jammed, that yeah, it's just not doing anything. So I'm going to leave that to soak, and well, we'll just have to see, and fingers crossed that it does actually free up. But what a shame, because it's such a beautiful machine otherwise, and it's, yeah, it's that blinking motor. Let's actually have a look at one of these motors. So here's a motor I took from SL-C7. This is actually the same motor that was jammed in the SL-C7 video that I did quite a while ago now. It's actually Lil's machine, and you can see, I'll just pull this apart, you have big magnets down here, and the coils, and then the semiconductor PCB control board, and you have top bearing, and then you have the bottom bearing, and I think that's where the problem is. I think that it's both of these bearings that are causing problems. So this goes on here. You can see this is now free. It's now running absolutely fine, but this was jammed solid. And yeah, I mean, what I'm trying to do, I think if the plus gas can get through here and get in, sort of fall down to here and free up, then we might have a chance, but somehow I doubt it. And I think I'm going to be looking for a replacement good motor. But yeah, it's just such a shame that these cause problems. You can see it's still not great. I'm sort of tempted. Let's see what the plus gas actually does. I mean, at the end of the day, it's incompatible metals. And probably cleaning that shaft would be a good idea as well, but oh, look at that, that's so much better, just with that little bit of plus gas. So I'm hoping if it can soak in, that would be great. Failing that, I might actually recondition this motor properly, give it a good clean out, sort out these bearings properly, and maybe use this, because then I know it's good. Having said that, if I'm taking the motor out there, I might as well recondition that one because it's brand spanking new. Not that these things particularly wear out, other than they jam. But yeah, that's really amazing. So take that out. Put that in there. And there's a way this goes. Goes like that. Yeah, that's turning really well, to be honest. You can really see that, but that's working. So if I clean, probably clean this up, because it's been stood on the bench for 2 years, however long it is since I did that video. But yeah, that is absolutely fine. So plus gas is the way to go. It's just if it will soak through. It is highly penetrative stuff. So that's actually got run on now. Let's put this on. Yeah, it's absolutely fine. Yeah, I'd be happy with that. Happy to use that. So yeah, that's the issue with those. And yeah, it's just a pain that bottom bearing is just so far out of reach. But yeah, we'll see. I'll leave it soak overnight and we'll take it from there. So it's about an hour and it is moving, but it's still very frozen, really. So I think I'm going to leave this here. It's probably quite a long video now. So in part 2, a bit of a cliffhanger I suppose, we'll be changing these caps, the Sanyo caps, and we'll have a look at this motor. Like I say, I'll leave this for a while now just to soak in, and we'll see how that gets on. And then finally, we'll be able to test the machine. I do need to sort out the clock, but yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting sort of finale to this machine. I will get it going, but it just depends on what it takes to do that. So with that, thank you very much for watching. A like, and if you're not already subscribing would be fantastic. But yeah, hopefully I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.